New York, and on the new Hot 97 app. Ebro in the morning. On Hot 97.
Ebro in the morning, beautiful Lord Styles. You got the Rosenberg guy.
Thank you.
And the homie Dre is here. No Cool, but Dre.
Yeah.
Half of Cool and Dre.
Yes.
Where is Cool?
Cool's in Miami right now. We're in
Being
the
cool.
studio.
Not cool.
Yes.
I think it's not cool.
Yeah.
That he's not here.
But he's
in the
working.
studio. Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
He's too cool to be here.
Got it.
And the reason he can live in Miami is because he's cool. He never hot. Man not
say
hot.
Miami, man not hot. Man not hot.
Yeah, he's
Dre,
mixing
what up,
some
man?
Lily Allen records we did.
Oh,
so.
she's humble brag.
Well, what
Yeah.
records?
Lily Allen.
Oh,
some of
okay.
that new stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
Light work. What else you guys working on?
A lot, man. Me and Joe got this so excited doing its thing, which is great.
Yeah, it's moving now, huh?
Yeah, it's doing its thing, man. And Cool. Speaking of Cool, he just mixed this whole Gigs album, and
Wait,
Gigs
he
is
mixed the Womp to Them album?
He mixed the whole album.
Yo, that Gigs album
I haven't
sounds
listened to it yet.
incredible.
Yeah, man. Me and Cool was in London for a couple weeks working with a lot of the artists out there, and it's a new game. Back in the day, artists from that side, we really wouldn't rate them high. You feel what I'm saying? But they got a lot of dope artists out there.
What?
And what's dope about it is it reminds me of 90s hip hop because in the 90s, the Jamaican influence was really huge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially in New York.
And that's just part of
yes.
British. That's a whole part of their whole scene.
That's their whole thing. And, my whole family's Jamaican. So, I'm out there and they're talking the talk. I'm like, what y'all know about this? And that's, if you from the hood, you
Jamaican
speak like you
patois,
Jamaican,
slang, yeah, all that.
So that's in the music heavy. So it reminds me of a lot of the 90s hip hop because they're doing a lot of gun talk, a lot of, stuff like that. So
But even the drums, the drums are very dance hall drums.
Yes.
Like on the grime records, it's
Yes.
very dance. But they recognize that dance hall is the origin, part of the origins
Yes.
of grime and that scene that's
course.
Yes,
bubbling out.
they embrace it 100%. I mean, it's always been that way. I mean, Bob Marley broke over there first. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, they've embraced that culture from day one. But yeah, we, Cool mixed that. We did 2 records on there. We did the intro and another record. And, Gigs is just, he's dope. You know what I'm saying? They got a lot of dope artists out there. So, me and Cool know that it ain't just about making music here now. Hip hop is so global. So we trying to inject our style of music and our vibe everywhere.
What other, for the people out there who may not know, because you guys are not overstated, what are some of the other recent records over the last couple of years that you guys have done?
Definitely all the way up with Joe Crack and Remy
Oh, that's
Ma.
it all right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I love always bigging up Joe Crack because, he introduced me and Cool to the game. You know what I'm saying? We was running around New York 2001, and we was here on the strength of Joe Crack giving us an opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
How did you guys meet Joe?
And when our homeboys was like, yo, Joe wants some down south beats. And this is like 2000, 2001. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yo, he wants some down south beats, give him some music. And back then, me and Cool would make a beat CD with like 40 beats. So we put like 30.
A beat CD.
Oh,
That
yeah.
sounds so
Yeah.
crazy. A
Yeah.
beat CD.
A beat CD.
Remember
That sounds crazy
Yeah.
still?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's
That's
just so
everything.
throwback. It's
I mean,
a
it
beat
is,
CD.
though.
So we gave him like a beat CD with like 39 beats. And after 38, we was like, you know what? Let's let him hear, what we do too. Because, you know what I'm saying? We sample a lot. So we put one hip hop beat on there. So he was on the bus going somewhere. And he was skipping through. And he got to the very last one and heard this record that ended up being the King of New York with Butch on there. I think Khaled did the talk on the top. And he was just like, no way. These are the same guys that did the first 38 beats. Like, this is some boom bap shit. So he drove all the way down to Miami. He's like, I got to meet these guys because I didn't know dudes from Miami could do this. So he drove all the way to Miami.
Because it was back when Fat Joe didn't fly.
Yes. He was in the
Hence
whip.
drive, yeah.
And he drove down to Miami, booked studio, hit factory. He's like, yo, I wanted to meet y'all and record this with y'all. And he let us hear We Thuggin' and let us hear What's Love. And we ain't never heard Joe on stuff like that. Me and Cool back then, we was like 20, 21 years old. So in the middle of the session, Khaled walks in, and Khaled's like, these are guys you working with. These my brothers, man. It's Cool and Dre. Yo, these my guys, this and that. So, just off that alone, Joe was like, oh, you down with Khaled? Khaled, you know these guys?
So you guys were already friends with Khaled, but you had yet to talk to Joe about being friends with Khaled, right?
Yeah, we've been friends with Khaled since 1996. Me and Cool were DJs on the underground pirate station in Miami, And
And Khaled was part of that too.
Yeah, he had moved
Yeah.
to Miami from Orlando, and he was trying to like get on the radio, and people were like hating on him. So Khaled, the Khaled that you see today is the Khaled that was there in 1996. Ain't nothing changed.
He's the same,
Nothing
that's the
changed.
illest piece of the whole Khaled joint. We've known this Khaled
Yeah.
Yes, consistency.
for 20 years.
Yeah, that's the hardest part of anything in life is consistency. And he's been consistently DJ Khaled since I've known him, and that's 20 years. So, me and Cool decided like, we want to really start making beats and whatnot. And we gave him our time slot at the station we was at. And we went up to Atlanta trying to figure it out, trying to be down with LaFace Records and Organized Noise, trying to like get down. And like 9-10 months, we came back to Miami and he took over the whole city in 9 months. I never seen nothing like it. Like he got on the radio
From the pirate station.
From the pirate station. We met Khaled. He was like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm DJ Khaled, whoopty whoop. It was like, well, listen, you could have our time slot. We had the hottest time slot, 6 to 10.
Every day?
Yes. So he's like, listen, we about to go to Atlanta and really pursue this dream of.
So you want to hold
making
it?
beats.
You let him hold it down. You were like, "Y'all want to hold it down?"
It was like, yeah. It was like, you can have our time slot. He was like, for real, for real. He was like, you good. And then 9 months later, he took over the whole city. He's the biggest.
How-
That's so dope.
And then how soon was he on commercial radio from that point?
I think he started with Uncle Luke a couple years after
Yeah,
that.
that's right. That was
Yeah, on 99 Jams.
98 or something
Yeah,
like that.
98, 99.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
But,
amazing.
Yeah.
And so y'all kept grinding. So then, what was your story? So you went to Atlanta.
Yeah.
It didn't end up happening that way.
Nah, it didn't go that way. But me and Cool became real popular locally. Like, we was feeding everybody beats. And whoever was in town would be like, who got the joints or whatnot. And back in Miami, back in them days, most of the record companies are run, in the streets. So, whenever the rappers is in town, they're hanging out with whoever's, popping in Miami in the streets. So, guys is trying to play their artists. So the artist really wasn't sounding dope, but they were like, who's making these beats? These beats are hard. And everyone would tell people, that's Cool and Dre, Cool and Dre, Cool and Dre, Cool and Dre. So we started making a name for ourselves locally.
So you were giving shit away, I'm guessing.
Yes.
And you were giving it sometimes to artists who you didn't think were great.
Yeah,
but
we
you
was
wanted to, you were just getting the sound out.
That's how we started. We gave away beats for free. And then before you know it, one of our homeboys was like, my man want to buy a beat from y'all. How much y'all charging me?
You said, excuse me?
Yeah, we couldn't believe it. We was like, word?
How much did you guys sell your first
We was
beat
like,
for?
tell him $500. And then my man was like, that's it. And we was like, tell him $1,000. You know what I'm saying? And then he was like, nah, I got to put my money on top. So, he was like, listen, just give us $500, whatever you charge.
By the way,
on you.
I want people, aspiring producers, I want you to listen and understand two things. One, follow what he said in terms of just giving out beats to get on. Do that.
Yeah.
When someone then offers you money, don't go money. That's the best. That's how committed you were to just getting it out there. That when someone actually suggested you get paid, y'all were like, "What? This is a thing?"
Yeah, and it's crazy because right when we started making beats, we had formed our company, set up an account. We did all that, but we was in charge, and we just wanted to get our stuff out there and hear dudes. You know what I'm saying? Hear people on our music.
So you had everything in place, but money wasn't coming in.
Nah,
it was all set up, ready to go.
Yeah. So right when we started doing that, we got real hot in Miami. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'm like 18, 19, living in a condo on the water straight off the street money. Like, you know what I'm saying? We don't sell dope, we sell dope beats. That's what I would always tell people, you know what I'm saying? And me and Cool learned business. How we learned entrepreneurship is by doing business with the streets. You know what I'm saying? So
Like many others.
yeah,
I mean,
you
a
know
lot
what I
of
mean?
people learn that
So
way.
that's how, we learned the game. And then, once we got with Joe Crack, he really opened up a lot of opportunities.
What
for
was
us.
Cool and Dre's first commercial success? Your first
Our
single?
first hit, New York for Ja Rule.
Mm-hmm.
And
That one did
Jada
well.
Kiss.
Yeah.
And that was, we didn't know it was a hit till we was in LA. We was at the Mondrian at the Sky Bar, and that record came on, and everybody started like dancing and singing the song. I'm looking at Cool, I'm like, they know this. We thought it was just a New York record. And that record took off crazy. That was like our first hit. And, that record came at a real sketchy time for New York. It was real.
Oh yeah, it was real.
It was real.
50 and John, the
It
whole
was
thing was
real. Like,
hot.
yeah, the music was spilling out in the streets for real. So, you know, that record, we loved it because it was our first hit. And then 6 months later after that, Hate It or Love It came out, which was The Game featuring 50 Cent.
And they fell apart too. Wait, has Cool and Dre done records with every moment at 50?
No, they're against 50. They're the source of the of everything. Now that you think about it.
It's crazy because, you know, me and Cool, it's not like we was just some guys in Miami just emailing off beats. We in the streets, in the clubs with Joe Crack.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we run around with Terror Squad pieces. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we really in it, meaning, like, we in it. Not in it like that, but we in it.
You didn't have problems with nobody,
Nah,
but those were
we
your
making
compadres.
music. But
Right.
I will tell you, when Hate It or Love It came out, you know, it was
Things
great.
got uncomfortable?
Oh, man. You know, we young, so it's like, you know, as much as we wanted to celebrate that, you know, because that record was huge, the number one record, you know what I'm saying? We had to celebrate it around other people, you know what I'm saying? Whenever that record came on, sometimes, you know, everyone wasn't all the way with it. Some of our guys be tight. Give us that look.
Go back to the New York record. 100 Guns, 100 Clips. I'm from New York,
Yeah.
New York. That's originally a BDP record?
KRS-One.
Yeah. Whose
100%.
idea was to use that for the hook?
I did. It's crazy about that record. When we did the beat, we had given it to Joe, and it was just a beat, and it was his. And
that's Super Bronx, so Joe would know the reference.
And it was no hook, and he was stalling. He kept stalling on the beat, and I'm like, yo, Crack, are you gonna use this beat? Let me know, because it's like a whole new sound. Like, we trying something new. And Joe always knew it's for sampling. So, you know, he's like, man, this is a new sound. Like, telling you, like, it's got synthesizers. No one's really using that in hip hop. And he was stalling. So finally, he's like, you know what? It's all love. You can do what you do with it. And I played it for Irv. So Irv heard the beat, and he was like, yo, this shit crazy. Yo, this is crazy, man. Yo, Dre got an idea for a hook. And I was like, I could put a hook on there. So I ran to the studio and put the hook on the beat. I played it for
So you had thought of the BDP?
right, yeah. I went to the studio, and I was just like, it came to my head. I was telling Cool, I'm like, yo, you remember this KRS-One? I got
100 Clips, yeah.
I'm from New York. So I put that on there. I played it for Irv, and they bugged out. And you know, he did it. And what's crazy is when I hit Cool back, I was like, yo, they loving this hook, bro. And he goes, yo, Dre, I gave that beat to Jadakiss, though. I said, oh, man, you gotta hit Jada and let him know that Irv is taking it. So he was like, all right, fuck. So he calls Jada, and Jada was like, man, I really like that beat. And Cool was like, yeah, but you know, Dre, I ain't even know, man. Dre went and played it for Irv, and them, they're gonna use it. So it's so crazy that Irv was like, yo, I want to put Joe Crack on this record. So I looked at Irv, I was like, Joe? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, damn, man. Joe never heard the record with the hook. So when we sent it to him, Joe called me immediately. He's like, yo, my man, this is my beat. I said, yo, Crack, you said you ain't want it no more. He's like, yeah, but I ain't hear this hook you put on it. And then Irv wanted to put another artist from Queens on there, and he couldn't link up with him. And then Irv was like, you know what? I'm going to throw Jada on there. And I was like, nah, this is too much. Like, these are the same two dudes that had the beat already, and, you know, he ain't even know.
That's crazy.
No, and it's a
know.
real story. And, you know, and it ended up being what it was. It's, to this day, it's one of my favorite records we've ever produced because just what it did for the city at that time. I just remember living in New York and remembering how tense it was out here. And that record was like, it gave the city just a quick break from all the BS.
So me and 50 have argued for years over.
Oh God.
But that record of them collaborating together, because it was such a big record and a hot record, undeniable to even 50. Everybody knew that record was fire. Mm-hmm. But it also was at a time when things were very tense and real outside of music. Mm-hmm. And I say that moment is one of the things that tore New York at when you had, because in my opinion, you had 50 Cent, you had Ja Rule, you had Fat Joe, you had Jada. I mean, you had marquee, dope rappers that could put out records. But that was one of the collaborations that caused people to not want to work together after that. It got super awkward after that.
Yeah, guys was forced to choose sides after that record.
And everybody, you know, me and 50 have argued for a while because I'm like, that was the moment. I mean, there was other things taking place. The industry was falling apart, right? Yes. Like the record industry was falling apart because of downloading and the way, you know, and how record labels were making money was falling apart all simultaneously. So there was other factors at play too. And so, you know, a lot of labels started getting artists from different regions, and it was just and that was another thing. Even right now in New York City, people don't talk about it. A lot of these labels that have offices here, they don't want to deal with the streets of New York. They don't want to sign New York rappers because they don't want to have to deal with coming to work every day feeling like they're going to get extorted or something's going to happen to them in the streets.
I get it.
It's real out here.
I get it. It does make sense.
I mean, I'll talk about it because I know, but a lot of people ain't honest about it.
Yeah, I agree with you. That record definitely caused some dissensions in the street even more. You know what it was? People had put Ja Rule in a certain space before that record, and justifiably so, because, you know, that
he was making
Get Rich or Die
records.
Trying album was so huge, and people definitely was counting him out.
Yeah.
So when that record came, it was like a lifeline, you know what I'm saying? And it was unexpected.
Of what we see of the Khaled brand right now, Cool and Dre and Khaled formed the modern Miami sound together. Would you say that's a true statement in some ways?
Yeah, I would say that
With
we
Ross
ushered in the next wave of the Miami's sound, 100%. From Ross to Pitbull to Flo Rida to Khaled to what we were doing. Definitely, that was like 2006. You know what I'm saying? And
what Flo Rida records did you?
We didn't do any Flo Rida records, but his record, that Low record, was huge.
Right.
You know, and he's coming from the same circle
Got
of
it.
all us.
Got it.
And, you know, Cool and I we found success early, like, you know, in like 2002, 2003. But we're producers, so we're behind the scenes. So the city can't put a face on what we're doing. Now, if we was rappers making all these records, that's a different story. But, you know, we've known Ross since 2000. So we would be telling everybody, like, yo, it's an artist named Rick Ross, man. He's the next Biggie Smalls. He was telling people since like 2001. He was telling people like, yo, this guy. And back then in 2001, he was really super duper lyrical with what he was doing. And, you know, when he came with Hustling, he kind of toned down.
Yeah.
You know
Took it
what I
to
mean?
the club a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
And then so when people started hearing his music after that, they were like, oh man, this dude's really lit. He's always been nice from day one.
He was writing for other people.
Yeah, he wrote a record that we produced for Trina called Told Ya, that for this movie All About the Benjamins that Ice Cube had. You know, that was one of our early first joints that, you know what I'm saying, and we did that with Ross.
So, what is you're on the hook of the Fat Joe record?
Yeah.
Is that the path? We about to get a Dre album?
I mean, right now we working. Like I'll be honest with you. You know, I put out records before in the past, and I did it because, you know, just having fun. Like I did a record with Rick Ross, Chevy Ryan High, and I did that record with him because, you know, this is my guy. You know what I'm saying? And we were in the studio with Mary J. Blige, and Khaled hit me. He's like, "Yo, your man got one out here." I'm like, "Word?" He's like, "Yo, no, he got one." He's, you know, and he sent me the record. I'm like, man, this is a problem. So I hit Ross up. I was like, yo, I'm gonna do something. Me and Cool, we got this situation at Jive. They're gonna do whatever we tell them to do. I'm gonna have them shoot a video to this. Let's just knock this out. And it'll be dope because you have two records out there. You have Hustling and you have this. So he's like, all right, let's get it. So that beat originally was for Mary J, believe it or not. Like, you know, we was gonna give it to her. And you know, we got on that, we did that, and it was huge. You know what I'm saying? That record was big, had me in so many different projects across America, which is crazy. And it was a big record for me. But then, you know, I just fell back and just went back into producing. You know what I'm saying?
Do you guys produce? Do you have credits separately from Cool?
As far as what?
Like where you produce records on your own?
No.
Everything's a team
Everything
effort.
we do is the same.
You made that deal that it would always be, even if one of you does more on one than another.
It doesn't matter.
It's Cool and Dre.
It's
That's the
Cool and
brand.
Dre. It's period. Yeah.
That makes sense.
So you didn't answer my question.
Yes.
Is there going to be a Dre album, Cool and Dre album?
I mean, me and Cool been talking about doing something together. You know what I'm saying? We have a bunch of artists and producers signed to us. Shout out Kent Jones, one of our guys. He's got a new record coming.
Kent Jones is super talented.
Yeah,
bro.
he's super talented. We've, you know.
And that song, Don't Mind, was a smash.
A super smash. You know what I'm saying?
Is this correct? I just looked. It said that Don't Mind made it to #1 in the U.S. rap charts, and All the Way Up didn't. Is that correct?
All the Way Up went number 3.
How is that humanly possible?
Timing.
It gotta be.
Timing. It's timing.
I don't accept that. I don't accept that All the Way Up wasn't #1. I
Yeah.
don't accept
It
it.
sounds crazy though. When you
Yeah,
think
but
about
you
it.
got to look at what else was on the chart at that moment.
I understand, but I refuse.
Yeah, well, it went double platinum, so and it was
It's okay.
a record. It was a record that came at the right time for Joe Crack. You know what I'm saying?
A record like that comes at the right time anytime. That record
absolutely right.
was.
You're
How
absolutely
instantly did you know that was just a complete smash?
Joe knew it. I gotta give him all the credit. Me and Cool always say Joe Crack, he got a golden ear, man. If he says this is a hit, trust him. So when we did that, Joe was like, "Yo, this gonna be big. Like lean back." And we was like, "Whoa."
It's a lot of
Like,
pressure.
yo, chill, man. Lean back. That's #1 for a couple weeks on the Hot 100. He's like, "Nah,
Couple
I'm telling you." He's like, yo.
Lean Back was #1 for like 15
God.
years.
It's a long time.
Yeah. So we was telling him like, yo, chill, like you going too far. And he's like, nah, I'm telling you. So, this is when it was just the hook and him. And then when we heard Remy and the record got mixed, we was like, oh man, you got one. And it took off crazy. And then the remix with Jay-Z was like unbelievable.
It's always good when
With
Hov
French on
jumps
the
on.
hook too, right?
And
French?
then, French
Yeah.
killed it. Like, it just came at the right time, because, when it comes with Joe or Khaled or Ross, but that's family. That's more than just music. So, I'm writing him letters when they forced him on vacation. You know what I'm saying? So the first day he came out, he was in the studio, and we was working every day. He was like, we're going to figure it out. We're going to figure this out. And, for that to happen, for him and Remy, a lot of people don't, usually when they force you on vacation, that's like a death blow. Artists come out
For
of
rap
that.
career?
Yes.
Yes.
They come out of that situation. The tone ain't the same. You know what I'm saying? The confidence
Energy
ain't
not
the
the
same.
same.
Yeah, because they
Spirit. They break your spirit
they
sometimes.
break your spirit down in there. So you could hear it. So, Rem, shout out Rem.
Are you guys working with her on her new stuff?
Yeah, she got some music coming. I ain't gonna speak out of turn because she will.
'Cause we're
hit
waiting.
me. And
we're excited.
Yes.
Can you
don't want that text?
Can you at least tell us why we gotta wait so long?
She coming. That's all I can tell you. I promise you.
You don't want to get yelled at.
I don't want to get torn apart.
Doesn't need that problem.
Yes.
Yo,
So
the
I'm
phone
not
rings.
gonna
You're like,
speak for
God.
it. Nah.
Remy's one of those calls. You're like, yo, what did I say?
I can tell you that she's coming, and I'm so happy. We have a couple records with her, but one in particular that's going to turn these streets up on another level.
I can't wait.
Oh, nah.
That's that talk.
Yo, no. Another level. I can't wait. I keep telling her I cannot wait.
You're so excited.
Yes, so excited. So excited for that, for 100%.
So you still didn't answer my question. We never got an answer.
If
there's a Cool and Dre album, is there a Dre album?
Yeah,
Is there-
we're gonna see. You know what I'm saying? We got some surprises. Me and Joe, we not done. I'll leave it at that.
Are you signed to a label right now?
We have our own, me and Cool, we have our own label, Epidemic Music. One of the artists I was talking about before, Kent Jones, but
Yes.
that, partners with We The Best and DJ Khaled. Shout out Khaled again.
Is there a new Khaled album being cooked up?
Yeah,
as
he's
we
cooking.
speak?
I can't say that, he's
And how does that work?
Too.
He goes out and I mean, Khaled obviously pulls music from wherever he needs to get it from, A&Rs it, finds the hooks, puts it together, boom,
I'm
boom,
gonna be
boom.
real with you. A lot of people want to know how he makes his music. I always read interviews or get questions about it. This guy has a vision for everything he does. So he produces these records. He's a hit maker for real, in real life. You know what I'm saying? He's like a do-it-all.
Well, and I think that's what a real producer is.
Oh, yeah, nah.
I think that's lost in hip hop. A lot of people just program drums and say they produced the record,
Yeah,
but
nah.
you didn't. You just made some drums.
It comes from my idea. When he did Wild Thoughts, he called. I'll never forget. I was talking to him. He's like, "Yo, I'm about to flip this, and I'm gonna get this dude on here to write this. Then I'm gonna get this Rihanna to sing this here, and then I'm gonna have Bryson sing this here. But then I'm gonna take these vocals and mix and match them up. Watch, you gonna see, Dre. You gonna see." And this is before you hear a. So
Do you do various things though to help out? Are there ever things when he's like, "Yo," from a technical standpoint, he's like, "Dre, I need you. Can you do blank for me?"
I mean, yeah, we get in the studio and we'll bounce off ideas. He might say, "Yo, Dre, I need a melody idea," or "Listen to this record I'm working on. Give me a verse here." You know what I'm saying? Write a verse here, or you got an idea for a hook. You know what I'm saying? And I've done that before with him a bunch of times. You know what I'm saying? He's tapped me as a songwriter, or he's tapped me and Cool as producers. Like, you know, Nas' album Done is a record that we did together. You know what I'm saying? So he you know, Khaled he knows how to draw the best out of someone. That's his true gift.
Is Cool? How do you separate the roles that you and Cool have on when you guys work together? Do each of you have jobs that you mostly bring to the table as a team?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, you know, Cool sonically, what's great about Cool is his ear is amazing. Like I said, he's mixing albums now. He mixed all the way up. So he knows how the music's supposed to sound. Plus, you know, he's a DJ, so, you know, if a kick is weak, he gonna let you know. Like, you know what I'm saying? So he'll make a whole beat by himself, or I'll make a whole beat by myself. And then he'll hear it and be like, yo, let me get that. I'm gonna change the drums on this. I ain't really feeling the way you did the hi-hats, or vice versa.
Do you guys use the same equipment?
Yes.
Right
now we on Fruity Loops right now.
Really?
Yeah, you know, I'm an MPC guy. A lot of the records that we produced, most of our hits back in the day was MPC. But, you know, you got to change with the times, bro. You know what I'm saying? And everything's about sonic. So it's not even about how great you produce. You could be a terrible producer with melody and everything, but if you press play and it's knocking, that's 99% of the battle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And equipment plays if everything sounds like a certain thing,
You
and
gotta
then your
win.
shit doesn't fit in with that in a
That's
club
it.
setting, it may not work at all.
That's like dragging 12 crates of vinyl to the club right now.
Right.
Like Technique 1200s. And I love the cloth. That's where we come from. I have techniques at the crib. You know what I'm saying? But if I was DJing, I would look crazy having some guys with like 12 crates of vinyl and all that.
Well, not
You
only
know,
that, if you were in the wrong setting, you can only do that at a party where every other DJ is playing vinyl.
Yeah.
If you show up to a party and the other DJs have all been on Serato playing new shit, and you're like, yeah, I fuck with that. Trust me, I'm a vinyl guy.
Yeah.
But you look nuts because it won't even sound sonically the right
Well, and
way.
also getting in and out of the records, you got guys that are getting on before you that are
Yeah.
getting in and out of pre-produced elements that just sound bigger than your shit because you're coming on a.
Believe me, I know when I spin with vinyl, I'm reminded of how much harder it is because, especially if you have a mixer with no frills, and you're like, damn, it's my job to really turn this party up with just records and a mixer. When you're dealing with,
Well, that's why, and now you understand why there's such a difference between a regular DJ and a Kid Capri.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody who can crack that microphone and engage you with no bells and whistles, just the voice and two records.
Yep.
Yeah, true.
Yo, Dre, man, it's great to see you. You look phenomenal, man.
thank you, my brother.
Salute,
Thank
send
you.
love to the family.
It's
Anything else you want to tell the people?
man,
I don't.
keep
When they
doing
said
your
you was
thing.
coming up here, I was like, Dre's coming to do an interview.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah. Nah, I appreciate y'all having me.
You wanna
keep
go to
doing your
politics
thing.
right
You
now?
gotta just keep
You
doing
wanna
your
go
thing.
politics right now?
I see you going hard. Trump watching you. Just know he's watching you. And
think so?
Yes. He's one of those guys that I think is in his, wherever he's at, the White House or his spot out here,
Well, he got
that
people. He got
searches his name on Instagram.
Yeah, we believe
and
it.
is spending all day seeing what people saying. And you go hard. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I
But
respect
I
that.
think we're living in a and I've said this to our team here. This is a time where things are so nuts.
Mm-hmm.
They're so fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
Yeah.
That if you are out here just flim-flamming
Yeah.
and being like, oh, well, you know, like even when he became president, people were like, well, give it time. I am not giving time to
you
a
can't.
fucking reality show guy
It's-
who's a fucking dick. And if you've lived in New York, you know how much of a piece of shit
Nah,
this
he's the
dude
worst.
is. I am not gonna sit back like, well, maybe. No,
Nah,
the
he-
president of the United States used to be on the fucking Apprentice. Where we at, right? It was
He
already
reminds
crazy
us
enough when
every
Arnold
day.
Schwarzenegger became governor of
That's
fucking
it.
California.
I think-
I was already like, yo.
I think the bright side to what's going on now is we could truly have somebody from our culture. Not saying Barack Obama is our culture, but I mean somebody from the culture be president now because this country has shown that it's willing to put all of its morals to the side to put somebody in the White House just because they like that person. You know what I'm saying? You're dealing with
Or because they have an agenda. Like,
Yeah.
I firmly, over the last several weeks, and I haven't really talked about this much, firmly believe that the agenda in this, if we're looking for the hook, was to make it so bonkers.
Yeah.
Because after Barack Obama, who were they going to put in there?
Yeah.
You have this married father,
yes.
Harvard-educated, constitutional law,
We're on punishment.
community organizer
We're on
individual who we could not get flawed. Like, we could not get him in trouble for doing something.
Oh, they would have found it if there was there.
If there was there, they couldn't get it. So who were you going to put up after this individual that was truly going to bring people together? They looked around, burn it down.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you.
Lower the bar
Yeah.
so far that wherever we go after Donald Trump is like the rebuild. America.
Yeah.
I can see the caption on fucking News Now. America
Yeah.
after Donald Trump.
Yeah,
Start over
but,
again.
Well,
You know what I mean?
another thing is this too. I think just as minorities, we've been accustomed to, for hundreds of years, growing up in this country one way, coming from the bottom. And whenever you come from the bottom and you make it, it's just a different type of feeling. You know what I'm saying? And I feel as though white America, the system has been set in place for them to where, a child is born, they graduate high school, their parents get them their card, 16 years old, they go off to college, tuition's taken care of, they graduate college, they meet their sweetheart in college, they get married, they have kids, and the cycle continues.
Yeah.
It just continues. And
so-and-so owns a business,
Exactly.
so you have a job. And
so in 2008, when the crash happened, and I was telling you this earlier, I'm blessed to live where I live, you know what I'm saying? But me, I'm coming from different circumstances. So I'm in my neighborhood, and to me, it's a dream come true. The people that live there, they expect to live there. God bless them. So, I jog my neighborhood. So in 2008, I can remember, I'll never forget it, I'm jogging my neighborhood, and there's a house, and the grass is like 4 feet high. And I've stopped, and I'm looking at it, and all the lights are out.
You was a concerned citizen. You're like,
No,
what
no.
the fuck is going on with
Yeah.
this lawn? God damn it!
I'm looking at it, and I'm like, what's going on here? This is something I've never seen that in my neighborhood. So I'm like, yo,
Almost
this
call
is
the police.
wild.
We got a serious grass problem here.
Yeah. So and there's a sign that says foreclosed. I'm like,
Whoa.
Foreclosed house in my neighborhood. This is the weirdest shit I've ever seen. So I'm like, all right, cool. 3 weeks later, that one house turned to 4 houses. 2 months later, those 4 houses turned to like 13 houses. I'm jogging my neighborhood, and my neighborhood is becoming a ghost town. And I'm like, oh shit, this crash is hitting.
the American dream has been fractured.
This crash is hitting not middle class, I'm upper middle class. So I'm like, if it's hitting these people, it's definitely hitting the middle class. I'm like, oh shit, they feeling it. And then when you turn on the TV, who's the president?
Black
Barack
man.
Obama. So now you got to look at it in their mind. They're like, okay, hold on. These people they're used to one thing. Now they spending the college tuition for their kids just to pay the bills. Then the car's getting repoed. Everything's thrown out of whack. But when they turn on the news, who's
they
the
got?
president? Barack Obama. When they watch ESPN and watch the playoffs, they're watching the NBA playoffs and they're watching the players. You know how they get the players walking in the tunnel before the game
Suits.
so they could do the
Beautiful.
fashion.
Black dudes
jumping
all
out
dressed up
jumping
and
out
nice.
of Ferraris, jumping out of Bentleys,
These
jumping
fucking
out
rappers
of Rolls
too,
Royce.
look
They're
at you.
sitting there. Their kids are singing all the rap songs and they're like, hold on, everybody winning. Meaning, but we not winning. Oh, you see, we gave these people too much. We want it back. I want my country back. I want things to be back the way
Make
the way it
America
was.
America
great
great
again.
again.
Exactly. So it might not mean we want slavery back. Nah, but we like Reaganomics.
Put them in their place.
Yes, we like what was going on in the 70s, the 80s. There's a small fraction that loved what was going on in the 50s and the 40s and the 60s and stuff like that. And it's sad that we have a president that
Appeals to them, yeah.
toys with that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Oh, he talks to him.
Oh, yeah, listen.
Dog whistle like
yeah,
a
all
motherfucker.
day long. So I feel that's
But
really
you think
what
the
happened.
average American that you just described, the average doesn't want to go back to fucking 1864.
No, they don't.
They want to go
But
back
there's
to
a few-
1985, though.
Yeah, there's a few ideas that they would
don't-
like to keep.
Listen, not only did in 2008 did middle class and upper middle class get jammed up, Bernie Madoff happened too. So a lot of billionaires, Billies, was jumping out the roofs here in New York. Like everybody got fucked in 2008. Everybody from the top. Us, meaning our community, we used to it. We're like, oh shit, what's going on? Ain't shit changed for us. What crash are you talking about? It's always been a crash. You know what I'm saying? So I feel that played a huge role in what's going on today. And people don't give Barack Obama the credit for bringing us back. They called it a Great Recession, but it was really a depression. They just ain't want to put the word on it. But we really went through a depression for real. And everybody got hit up.
Well, and they're never going to pin it on Bush, who really started it before Obama.
Nah.
And so they pin it on Obama because he was the face that was on the TV in 08.
Yeah.
Just like here in the city, everybody blames de Blasio for the homeless shit. That shit's happening because Bloomberg
didn't care.
Well, he paid for that third term, and then when he was in that third term, it was cake-up time, and that's why we got fucking 30 different cranes swinging through the city in here, and all these rich people coming in buying up all these buildings and gentrification happening. That was Bloomberg did that shit.
Look, you got Trump taking credit for the economy now. That's Barack Obama. He brought us from the brink. You know what I'm saying? He's the guy that captured Osama bin Laden. They don't talk about these things.
Trump might start saying he captured bin Laden. And I remember the day, I gotta tell you, it was tremendous when I captured
Well,
him.
you know, he'll lie, no problem.
That's my point.
Not a problem.
Now, and also, if you want to really go a step further, and of course, you obviously know this, seeing how you're viewing all this, the role that Trump plays in this post-depression time, yo, it's Hitler 100%, bro. That is literally, Hitler came to Germany like, guys, this is fucked up. We look nuts out here.
They're taking our country.
The only different thing that Hitler did, ironically, is that Hitler spent the first couple of years only focusing on getting people jobs. He didn't really start with the Jew hate yet, right? He was just like, yo, I need to get all these people jobs and get people feeling good, and then I'll rally them to go my shit. Trump just jumped right in and was like, fuck everybody. Fuck them, fuck them, fuck them. But it really is the same thing. It's crazy.
It's the same thing. What the Democrats need is they got to fight fire with fire. Trump he's like a big bully on the playground. You need a Democrat to come out and say, yo, check this out. Trump,
shut the fuck up.
In the next debate, you say the wrong shit, I'm going to punch you in your fucking face. You a bitch. And then what happens? Because you got to fight fire with fire.
It's Dre Day, ladies and gentlemen. It's motherfucking Dre Day.
Yo, give it up for our boy Dre, man.